ladies and gentlemen, how are you doing? And welcome to the Joe Barnes Online Business Show, where we're talking about everything to do with mind, money, and marketing. And today I am absolutely over the moon to welcome my very special guest, somebody who I've known a few years now, the very lovely Mr. Minesh Bhindi. Hello, Minesh.
Hi, Joe. Thanks for having me on.
Now it is actually 2 o'clock in the morning. Minesh is in the UK at the moment.
2 a.m. in the morning, as you can tell. So just in case people are wondering why Minesh isn't in a suit and tie and everything like that, it's currently 2 a.m. and this is just for Joe.
Gosh, 2 a.m. in the morning, and you're still looking super smart, though. Look at you.
No, I always look good.
I'm a bit of cash, me. See, I've lived in Thailand for too long. Anyway, Minesh, it's absolutely fantastic to have you here. I'm going to grill you a little bit today on some of your thought processes, a little bit about kind of how you've got to where you are, and really inspiration, nuggets of inspiration for our viewers and watchers on how they can go on to create their own successful businesses. Now, we've known each other a few years now. I met you a few years ago in England, and in fact I'm fascinated to be able to have you as a guest today, because I remember one of our first meetings actually ended up in a bit of a debate in an event room, if you remember rightly. Yeah. And I'm actually going to start with that, if that's okay. I'm actually going to ask you about your thought process and mindset around money, because the debate we had, Minesh actually has a site called goldforlife.com, and Minesh teaches and helps investors invest in gold, and has an incredible success rate with his students. Something like 92% of Minesh's students are actually out there making money from the education that Minesh and his business partners give to these investors. So when we first met, I remember being in an event session with, I think it was Daniel Wagner at the time, and we were talking about pricing strategies, and we wanted to keep our pricing strategies quite low, but you, Minesh, you were quite dogged about the fact that we should price fairly high, and we ended up having this debate. So I'd love to hear your thought process on the whole concept of money.
Okay, that's pretty wide, but so let's start with where we were back then. So the reason why I said up the price is because it depends on the client base that you want to attract. Now, I've always found that when you up the price, the quality of the client base goes up. So for you, and the product and service that you were offering, if I remember correctly, was the social media, something to do with social media. I can't remember exactly. It was years ago. And it was just worth the money that I said you should charge. So by downplaying it, what you're saying to the market and to the universe, I would say, is that I don't think this is worth, what it's truly worth. And when you say that, you don't get the worth back. But when you say, like, I am worth XYZ, you'll get XYZ back because you're demanding it. And that's really the basis of having the price high. And it's just what do you think it's truly worth? And that's why with all money as well, I think money is an energy force, and money is going to chase you depending on what value you think you are worth. And if you think you're worth a lot, then a lot of money is going to chase you. It's your karma is going to find a way to have a lot of money chase you, because you firmly believe and know that you are worth a lot. And if you don't think you're worth a lot, then not a lot of money is going to chase you. It's as simple as that. Money is just energy. So I guess that would be my theory of what money is overall.
So do you think it's a confidence thing? You think, when people are kind of starting out, they're going to go for slightly lower pricing because they're just kind of growing into it and they're finding their feet and their confidence?
Yeah, I think it's definitely a confidence thing. It has to be. I mean, it's people always undervalue themselves. For some reason, the bullshit society that we've all been brought up to live in teaches us to undervalue ourselves. When someone stands up and says, I am the best, or I am God, right? Everyone else looks down on them and says, what do you mean? Like, you can't say you're God. You can't say you're the best. You can't say this, that, and the other. Why? Because of their own insecurities. And so same thing happens with money. As soon as somebody says I'm worth £5,000 per client, the fear is that other people are going to stand up and say, "Oh no, you're not. What do you mean you're worth five? You're not getting £5,000 worth of value for the client, etc., etc., etc." Confidence, but it's rooted in insecurities that are developed through society.
And how much do you think that the market has an influence on that, though? So if you go out there with a product and you believe that that product is worth a couple of £1,000s, let's say, but there's other similar products out there and other people are only selling them for a couple of $100, how much do you feel the market influences, your decisions?
For me, none. Because the way we look at it is, okay, you can go, in the trade, everyone puts us in the trading and, investing world. So in the trading and investing world, you can pay £250 and go and learn Forex trading, but you're going to lose, there's a 99% chance that you're going to lose everything. So we operate from a perspective of, we know our value. Like, here are our assets, here's our asset sheet, 92% success rate, lifetime coaching. We update people on a weekly basis as to what's going on in the market, and that's for life. So we know the value of what we're offering. If somebody can't see it, then to be honest, they can't see it. We're not in it to chase money, if that makes sense.
Okay, well, let's actually go back a step. I wanted to kind of come in to this chat with a bit of a boom insight from you. So let's actually go back and talk a little bit about your business and what you're doing and how you're helping people, because I think one of the things that you've said recently, which really intrigued me, was that a lot of entrepreneurs and marketers are monitoring their conversion rates and their sales rates and all that kind of stuff, whereas you as a company, you're not looking at those kind of stats. You're looking at the results that you can get for your customers, or the results your customers get from your training. So tell us a little bit about your business and the ethos behind it.
So my main goal and my purpose in life is to evolve people from where they are to the natural ascension that the world is going in. Now, the part that I play is I need to evolve people from opportunists to money managers. That's what we do at Goal for Life. We take people that are looking for opportunities to make money, and they just run around in circles looking for different opportunities. As we both know, they're in every single industry, and we want to take them from that point and evolve them to money managers. Now, of course, we look at all the sales statistics and everything else. I just don't look at them. Somebody else looks at them. My main focus is, is that purpose being fulfilled? Are we evolving people? As long as we are evolving people, then our intention is right. So I guess the money is a byproduct of what we do here. That's my.
And one of the things that intrigued me about it, though, is this whole focusing on the results that your customers get, the results that your students get. Yeah. And we all know that when we produce products and courses and training and stuff like that, really if you're a good product creator, then the keys to success are there. You're laying it out step by step. But the actual real key to success is people taking action. And there's the challenge. How do you deal with that?
One thing, sorry to cut you off, but what I get,
that's all right.
This is an important topic for me. I think that educators, from our perspective as educators, we don't take as much responsibility as we should for the success of people, because we're hiding behind the veil of, you've got to take the action, right? When you look at it from that perspective, we're actually hiding behind, in most cases, most speakers and most educators, including us, were hiding behind the veil of, but action is all you're doing. But as an educator, my job isn't just to educate, it's to inspire. Now, if I'm not inspiring you to action, then I'm not doing my job right. It's as simple as that to me. It's like, the day I know that we will be succeeding, i.e. the whole world will be shifting, is when we hear about another product launch and the #1 sales statistic that they say that you should promote this for is because 92% of people are successful with it. Right? We always hear about EPCs, we always hear about all the other crap. Why don't we have one product launch right now that the leading stat is a 92% success rate?
So tell me, what's your secret? How do you inspire people to take action?
#1, you got to have good stuff, right? So we don't overcomplicate it. Everyone in our investment field, And I'll lay the blueprint out. No one's going to copy it because they think it's not going to make them money. But it's quite simple. We want to take the most simplest information that we have in order to help people get a result. People don't, I mean, no matter how much they say, like in my industry, that I want 10% a month, I want 20% a month return on my investment. Yeah, you want that, but what you want more is 2% per month for life. You don't want 10% per month and then in 3 months you're going to lose 40% on the account because you went into a risky strategy. So that's step number one, is to have something that actually works. Trivial step, right? There's a lot of people miss for some reason. And the second step is implementation. So if we can get people to, from the start, as soon as they log in, to actually implement our education, not just read it, I mean take action on it. And how we inspire that is we have a fast-track walkthrough. So it's like a 4-step, 26-minute tutorial that they have to go through first, where they actually go and place a trade. It's a virtual trade, but they take the actions without understanding the knowledge, without understanding the content, and without understanding the wisdom behind the action, but they go and physically do the action. And that jumped our success rates up from 35% up to the 92%.
Wow. So basically what you're saying is you're making your system easy to consume.
Yeah.
Because many people, I think,
not only easy to consume, we make them consume it. They can't get there is no point you having access to the rest of the program unless you've placed that first trade. That's the way we do it. Like what I actually say, don't trust me, don't believe me, just follow what I'm doing. You're not risking any money. Just don't worry about the strategy. Don't worry about what I'm doing, why I'm doing, how I'm doing it. Just follow, click after me, and just place the damn first trade. And that's how we get people to do it.
Okay, that's fantastic, because I think what happens with a lot of product creators is they believe that more equals more value. So what they do is they feel, I mean, I've done it. I hold my hands up right now and say, without a doubt, one of my first products was so big. There was so many videos. There was so much education. There was so much in there because I wanted to stuff it full of value that actually what ended up happening is people didn't take action because they just got overwhelmed and, fearful and all that kind of stuff.
The thing is, stuff doesn't equal value. Results equals value. And people don't, but the only reason why we, like most educators, don't get that, and we didn't get it either, but the only reason that the paradigm shift that happened was that value is in the terms of the customer, not in my terms. So the value of my product is not what I say it is. It's the value that the customer puts on it. And as soon as you understand that, you start removing all the other crap, and you focus on what's going to get the result for the customer.
Okay, fantastic. So, Minesh, I was looking at your Facebook page recently, and I noticed that you are very soon launching a new site called MineshBhindi.com, which is based on a journal that you started about things that you wanted to be able to teach your children, and you've decided that you now want to kind of share that with the world, and it's very much, or it appears to be, much more of a kind of a spiritual journey, something that you want to share as opposed to a money-making scheme. Do you just want to tell us a little bit about that and what's kind of led you to this path?
So I remember having dinner with a very, very successful person, hundreds of millions of dollars worth of net worth, and he kept complaining about his children, that they weren't ambitious, that they weren't driven, that they weren't successful, that only some people were supposed to make it, and my children aren't those people, except all this other bullshit, right? So I said, okay, how did you do it? Because I wanted to see if he could explain it to me, because if he could explain it to me, he should be able to explain it to his children, in which case it must be the children's fault, because that's how they are. So I said, how did you do it? And all he did was give me a timeline of his successes. So I set up this company then, I set up another company, 5 years later, that led to another company, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I said, no wonder your children don't get it and don't listen to you, because you can't teach it. When I asked you how you did it, you gave me a timeline of successes. That's not the lessons. The lessons happen along that timeline. So in that moment, what I realized was I'm going to very quickly habitualize success. In my journey, all the lessons I learned very quickly become habitualized. And what I realized was if I don't write these down in the moment that I'm learning them, then I'm not going to be able to translate them to my children when I have children, right? So that's when I started the journal, and I said it's just lessons that I'm learning about business, about spirituality, about dealing with people, about just everything. And so what I realized was I'm going to put this online because a lot of people, and one of the biggest lessons that I've learned is that you can bend your reality. You can get anything you want, as long as number one you know what it is, and number two you're willing to sit there until it comes to you, right? So I created this website to basically show people. We've all in this spiritual world, right? Everyone says you can manifest this, you can manifest that, it's possible, etc., etc., etc. Have you realized they all talk about it from a perspective of I have manifested this, I have manifested this car, I have manifested this home, I have manifested X, Y, Z. No one actually says, watch me. Like, watch me, I'm going to manifest this, and this is what it's going to look like. And that's what I really wanted to do, to create that site to say, this is serious and anyone can do this. So here's what here's what I'm going to manifest throughout my career. Here's the designs for it. And watch reality bend in front of your eyes. And along the way, I'm going to blog the lessons that I'm learning in business, in money, in relationships, in in everything. And it's just a personal hub site. Basically, I'm trying to put my mind on the web. It's as simple as that.
So this is an ongoing project. This is kind of the start, and then you're going to invite people to essentially watch over your shoulder as you choose your reality and bend it and shape it into how you want it to be.
Yeah.
So you
I don't know what else to say. Yeah, that's exactly what we're going to be doing.
No, that's absolutely fantastic. You're just you've got this very kind of spiritual outlook on life, haven't you, Minesh? Where does that come from? Is that something that you were brought up with?
No, I think it's I watched The Secret back in 2006 or 2007, and ever since then I always wanted to know what the truth was. It's like, what is one question that fascinates me is, where did this come from? Right? So when you look at The Secret, it's like The Secret's great, but where did that come from? So then you go and read the other materials that The Secret movie was based on, and then you go, so where did that material come from? And I literally went on a 3-year journey, I would say. I think that only really finished toward November, December last year, to be honest, where I came back full circle into the application part of it. And I went all the way back through history to find where the root of the idea that you can bend your reality and have anything come towards you. I went and found the answer, the root knowledge on that. That's where it comes from. It's my own self-study, I'd say.
And I hear you talk a lot about your purpose. I've heard you refer quite a lot to my purpose, my purpose. I think certainly when I'm talking to lots of people, lots of students and my community, a lot of people really struggle with trying to define their purpose. And, they feel that they don't have any specific passions and things like that. What's your advice in somebody trying to search for their purpose?
The purpose has to be immaterial. That's one thing I realized. The purpose doesn't, if it's a true purpose, i.e. it's coming from your soul, it cannot be definable by the reality that we're living in, because the reality that we're living in is created by the energy field. So therefore, the purpose that you are here for has to be one step behind that energy field or this reality. And so if people are saying that my purpose is to help accountants make more money, that's not your purpose. Right? You need to go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper until you find what your soul's purpose is. And my soul's purpose, and it took me 18 months to find this, right, of constant analyzing. My soul's purpose is quite simple. It's to align people to the natural ascension, the natural spiritual ascension that the world is going in. That's my purpose. Now, I have a skill for doing that, and that is to grab people's attention through investing. So when people come through our program for investing, remember, we're not just teaching them an investing program. We're taking them from opportunists to money managers. That involves meditation. That involves understanding your energy. That involves patience and all these different things and aspects of a personality that are really spiritual evolution. And that's how my purpose translates into reality.
So do you have a mentor, Minesh? Do you have somebody who guides you?
In terms of business or in terms of...
Business, life?
Yeah, so one of my original mentors, who is now one of my best friends. His name is Andy Shaw. I don't know, you might have heard of Andy. So I met Andy when I was 16 years old, and he's sort of been guiding me since then, and we've become really, really good friends now. And then another one of my mentors, his name is Com, who is 31 years old. He's worth $400 million, and this guy just, I mean, I thought I was ambitious, until I met this guy, and he really kicks me up the backside from a business perspective.
So what are your ambitions, Minesh? What is it that you want to achieve as you move forward?
For Gold for Life, the goal is to create £1 billion worth of wealth energy in the world. We want to create £1 billion worth of brand new wealth energy in the world, and we want to do that over the next 5 to 7 years. After that, my next project is a project called Spiritual Capitalism. Now, that's not out there right now. It's just not. It's not out there. But the premise behind that is I want to teach business owners how to build a business based on the principles that Gold for Life is built on, which is about going to give from a going to give perspective. I want to change the whole belief around money is evil, and I want people to understand that capitalism and spirituality are actually go hand in hand. And you can be absolutely spiritual while chasing as much capital as you want. And that's my next plan that will come into play from 2020.
Well, that sounds a very interesting and massive project.
Yeah. Sorry to cut you off, but I think it's going to be the next blueprint for business in a spiritual world. That's what it will be. That's my vision for that, for spiritual capitalism.
Okay, you've got lofty ambitions, which are fantastic. Do you find that you have to sacrifice things in order to do that? What's your life-work balance like?
It's okay. It's getting better. It's getting better. And I think that's because I just hadn't focused on the life side of stuff. But it's definitely getting better. I do like to have a lot of fun, but I just tie it in with the business as well. So when people think, oh, poor Minesh is going to Vegas for a seminar, it's like, no, it doesn't really work like that. We have fun when we're in Vegas as well.
So talk to us about, let's give some advice to people that are watching this. I mean, there are some people out there that won't have as lofty ambitions as you. They just want to create, a bit of extra income on the side, or a successful business that allows them to retire and enjoy some freedom in their life. Just people who are kind of getting their businesses off the ground, things like that. What are some things that you think that they really need to be thinking about as they're building and growing their businesses?
So number one is a philosophy that I learned, which is that the quality of the fruits that you have along the journey is directly dependent on the quality of the intention that you set at the start. So if you set an intention that I want to make £2,000 a month or X, whatever it is, right? I'm not judging the intention, but if you set that intention that I want to make £2,000 a month, it's not precise. So you're going to get the quality of the fruits that you're going to get are not going to be that high. Whereas if you say, I want to make £2,000 a month, fly around the world, I want to be in 6 different countries every single year, I want, a house for free wherever that I want to, wherever I want to stay. I want to stay in this hotel, 6 different hotels. I want to fly business class while I'm doing that, etc., etc., etc. The quality of the fruits become better. So anyone who's setting that intention of I want to do whatever I want to do, just focus on the quality of the intention.
Do you honestly believe that? I mean, I've been setting an intention for about the last 10 years that I want to be a size 10 and have long blonde hair and blue eyes. I mean, do you honestly think that clear intentions really work?
Yeah, I do. But it also depends on your alignment as well. So like from a spiritual perspective, if I've just manifested one of the things that I really wanted to manifest, and it took 1 year, 7 months, and 24 days. So most people are not willing to sit there for 1 year, 7 months, 24 days, or however long it's going to take for the alignments to happen, going through every single thing that gets thrown at you in order to receive what they want. Now that's the whole process of alignment. Now you've got to be willing to sit through it. Like, if you're not willing to sit through it and the first hurdle comes up and you go, you know what, I'm going to change my intention slightly here, and then the second hurdle comes up, I'm going to change my intention slightly here, you're not sending out a clear signal from a manifestation point of view.
So therefore, isn't alignment simply you making a decision and going for it? I mean, we talk about it in with all this sort of, language and all the rest of it, and surely it's a case of saying, that's what I want that house, I want it on the beach, I want it by 2015, so I'm going to do whatever it takes in order to get that.
Yeah, one of the things that we tell, yeah, pretty much, but one of the things that we tell our investors is we don't really want to be setting an end date target on when you want your wealth, because it's like, okay, so whatever time you remember, this reality is created by whatever you think it's gonna happen. So therefore, if you say I want this in 2 years' time, it's gonna do everything it can to make sure it happens in 2 years' time. That's the expectation. So to bypass that, what we say to people is design your life now as if the investment's already happened. So we want to build around the investment. So you don't want to, if you want to make £10,000 a month, you haven't got to make the £10,000 a month. Like, that's not the design of the intention that you want. The intention is, so what does my life look like when I make £10,000 a month? What type of car do I drive? What type of house do I live in? What type of friends do I have? Where do I go to eat? What restaurants do I like going to? What do I say to the waiter when I get to the restaurant? Etc. 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 So build it around the goal, if that makes sense.
It does. So your education program is not just educating, this is actually how you go and invest, but there's an awful lot of mindset in there as well.
No, like I said, we evolve people from opportunists to money managers. Now that is a huge shift, and in order for us to do that, we've got to have everything.
I like that. Okay, so where can people find out more information about you, Minesh? Where's the best place for them to go?
They can go to goldforlife.com. They can go to Facebook. I'm trying not be on there, but I normally am. Yeah, you can go anywhere. Just Google me.
Okay, and before we go, do you want to talk about love?
What do you want to talk about? You're the leader here. You're the leader here. So.
I believe that some good news has come your way, and you've recently met the love of your life.
Yeah, it's still very new. It's still very new.
Oh well, I'm very happy for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So got to get the old personal thing in there somewhere, Minesh. Okay,
yeah.
so
I try so hard. I try so hard to avoid that. Like, one of the things that I realized was I've been manifesting that for 1 year, 7 months, 24 days. That's what I was hinting at. And I always thought that I'd want to shout about it. And as soon as it happened, it's just like I'm really enjoying just the process right now. So yeah, I don't know why I said that, but yeah, that's I'm enjoying the process.
Everybody loves a good love story. Everybody loves a happy ending. Last question before we do go is, I'd like to, what's something that's really inspired you along the way, that's helped you get to where you are today, whether it be a book, a film, somebody, something that you can recommend that people go out and look up or read, watch, etc.
So The Secret was number one. There's loads of people. The Wayne Dyer is one. Andy Shaw, obviously, is definitely one. One of the best books that I read last year was Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill, which I think is better than Think and Grow Rich.
Okay.
And yeah, loads of stuff. The main thing is focus on the quality of your intention, because if you don't have a good quality intention, no matter what you do, it's gonna yield average quality fruits. So just focus on the quality intention, dream big, and screw everyone else.
I like that one. Absolutely. Live your life as you want to live it, right? And just go out there and do what you want to do. Be yourself.
Exactly.
Fantastic. Okay, well, Minesh, it's been fantastic to talk to you. Thank you very, very much for joining us in the middle of the night there in the UK. How's the weather?
Cold. Cold and rainy and windy. It's London.
Okay, well, sun's shining here and the palm trees are looking good. So
you just need to hang up right now. That's what needs to happen.
All right. Well, thanks ever so much for joining
You're
us, Manish.
welcome.
I really, really do appreciate it. And of course, everybody who's watching, the links to go and find out more about Manish and the links to the Outwitting the Devil that he recommended and anything else we've spoken about will be below this video. So thank you very much for joining us. And Manish, I will speak to you again very soon.
You're welcome. Thank you.